Shalom Aleichem. It's Mariam here. For those of you who don't speak Hebrew, Shalom Aleichem simply just means peace be unto you. And this is how people greet people in Israel. It's so beautiful. It's not just hello or goodbye. It's shalom, peace, you know? So another word for shalom is also wholeness. Because what is peace truly? It's having complete balance and harmony and wholeness within our beings. So again, going back to this theme of being a human being, we're going to talk about the candle today. Such a simple thing that we have in this world. And it's a beautiful representation of how our soul, our being, animates our body, our human. So we have the wax of the candle. In Judaism, we call this the animal soul. What this is it's our physical body. It's the animalistic nature side of us. It's very grounded, it's very heavy. It's what keeps us in this physical world. It's beautiful. This physical body is amazing. This physical world is amazing. But then we also have the flame of the candle. And the flame represents our soul. And it's very hard to explain because we're finite. Our mind was created in a finite physical world. And this part of us, our soul, is infinite. And it's very hard for us to use words to explain this part of us. But the flame represents a very beautiful way of physically seeing it, because the soul is constantly flickering upwards. It constantly just wants to be reconnected with its source. So if you want to think of it this way, our source could, for example, be the sun. And this is like a really minuscule part of the sun. And it's constantly flickering upward, wanting to be connected with the oneness of its source. So we're living on two different sides of the spectrum, okay? We have the small flame, the soul, that really just wants to reunite. You can say up in the heavens, up where we come from, whatever. And yet we have the body that keeps us in this physical world. And in a lot of religions or cultures, we call this the ego. The body becomes the ego. It's the part of us that really thinks about the I want, I need. This isn't inherently bad. We need food to survive. We need water. We need shelter. We need money. We need security. It's just a lot of times the ego can kind of take control. And in Native American culture, they call this the two wolves. We have the ego, and then we have the part of us that really understands and just feels one when we're all together. Instead of the I, it's the us. And that's, to me, is really what God represents. In Judaism and in Torah, there's lots of different names and permutations of God. We're not really going to talk about those today. But we're simply going to explain God as the unity, the oneness of all life force. From plants to animals to humans, and far past what we can comprehend. This we can, I guess, in this video, explain to be God. So our soul wants to constantly be reconnected to God and this oneness. All creation, all souls being reconnected. And yet this physical body seems to separate us, and then we become an I. And again, this is our animalistic natural needs. But then they can become desires, and they can become pleasures and addictions. And I'm going to kind of explain the Jewish Torah perspective of these two dualities and how we bring them into oneness with this candle. So in a lot of religions in the Eastern worlds, we really focus on the flame. And we want to become the flame. We want to leave the physical world behind, and we want to be reconnected with our source. So we quote unquote, sit on the top of the mountain and just meditate all day. And we try to leave our physical pleasures behind. From food to sex to addictions, all pleasure, we just want to leave it behind. We say that this creates suffering. So I just want to focus on my soul and kind of fly away. And that's the only way I can be happy in this world. And then the Western world kind of gets really stuck in the body of the candle itself. We get really stuck and really heavy and lost in the physical pleasures of this world, from food and addictions and any pleasure that you can imagine. Instead of just using the physical world for what our body needs, the physical world starts to control us.